In this segment, Stephanie Miller and Glenn Kirschner talk the law and Clarence Thomas, Donald Trump, as well as the ongoing legal problems facing Fox News. Here's Stephanie.
I don't think anything that we're talking about today is high on her list. The whole country is going to be like, you want to know the truth? It'll be like Detroit. Our whole country will end up being like Detroit if she's your president. You're going to have a mess on your hands. She destroyed San Francisco. She destroyed, along with Newscomb, California. And we're not going to let her do that to this country. We're not going to let it happen.
Come on, what are we, stupid?
Please, MBS has a burner phone just for Donald Trump. I can't, the mind reels, the crimes we are going to find out about. I mean, you tweeted, though, when Trump was told that an angry mob was trying to hurt Pence, Trump said, so what? Once in trial, jury will convict. Trump in a D.C. minute. Oh, please, God. So many reasons to vote in 3 weeks. I've already voted, but, oh, my God. You still remain confident that when he loses, it's
going to happen, Steph. He's going to lose. I don't know anything about polls. I'm not a political pundit, but Joe Biden won by 7 million. I have a feeling Kamala Harris will win by 10 million or more. Yes, the battle states are going to be tight, but she's going to pull it out in the battleground states as well. And here's the thing. When your vice president is being attacked by your angry mob and they're chanting, hang Mike Pence, and you have a duty to take care that the laws of the nation be faithfully executed in that moment. That's a constitutional responsibility of the president. And you say, oh, they're hunting for my vice president. So what? Those 2 words will cause 12 people in a wooden box in that D.C. courtroom to vote guilty so fast, it'll make Donald Trump's head spin. It's coming. It's been a very long, dry spell, but Donald Trump is almost in our rearview mirror, and he will spend the rest of his life in courtrooms and jail cells.
You're hitting it again, what I call my Glenn spot. You get people, you were on with our other new best friend, Brian Tyler Cohen, who you told us all about. But you said Donald Trump is criminally responsible for the crimes of Giuliani, Eastman, and others via the legal doctrine of co-conspirator liability. Explain that.
Yeah, so there's a reason Jack Smith included all of those co-conspirators in not only the Trump indictment, but in the recent mega filing. Yeah. And he labeled them CC1, CC2, CC3. But it's no secret that these are folks like Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell and John Eastman and Kenneth Chesbrough. And the beauty of co-conspirator liability says when you join a criminal endeavor, when you agree to commit a crime with 1 or more people, you're part of a criminal conspiracy, you are guilty of every single crime committed by every member of the conspiracy, whether you personally participated in that crime or not, because the law deems that when people join forces to commit crimes in a conspiracy, everybody gets tagged with every crime. And not only that, Steph, the admissibility of co-conspirator statements means every incriminating statement every co-conspirator made. Like when John Eastman said after the Capitol attack, look, I know we violated the law, but can we engage in just one more minor violation of the Electoral Count Act? That's admissible as if it tumbled out of the rancid mouth of Donald Trump himself. That is the law of co-conspirator liability, which is why I say Trump's going to be convicted in a D.C. minute as soon as we get these cases to trial.
D.C. minutes are quicker than ours, which is good, I assume. Okay. We've talked, I don't know how many new crimes we've just touched on just in this brief conversation, Glenn, but Trump's campaign frequently sends supporters contest offers that often involve opportunities to personally meet or have dinner with Trump. New York Times took a close-up look at the Trump campaign's contest, could not find any documented winner in the vast majority of the offers. So yet another scam, another grift, also illegal, right?
Yeah. You know what? One of the things that's frustrating for me as a TV legal analyst is for going on 7 years now that I've been with MSNBC, I have the hosts and the anchors ask me all the time about the breaking news. Glenn, isn't this a crime? Isn't this illegal? And my answer is always, yeah, but it doesn't seem like anybody has an appetite to prosecute the ruling class criminals. And that's where the institutions of government have fallen down on the job. We have to apply the rule of law without fear or favor against the ruling class criminals, the politicians, the oligarchs, the American mullahs, but we don't seem to have an appetite to do it. That has to change. And if it's ever going to change, Steph, it's going to change in a Harris administration.
Yes.
Somebody who is keenly aware of the need to prosecute today's criminals to deter tomorrow's criminals.
You could cut and paste this headline any day. Trump campaign may have crossed a legal line. You think? Now a warning. So let's talk, because we talked about Brett Kavanaugh. It's just the Supreme Court. I don't even know what to say anymore, Glenn. You tweeted the Supreme Court just gave the green light to states like Texas to let hospitals refuse life-saving emergency care to women if it involves terminating a pregnancy. Voting for Democrats will help save the lives of women. Let's stop this horrific assault on American women. There's two other, things they're considering. The ghost gun thing, another. It's so amazing how the right-wing justices can be so consistently wrong on everything, Glenn. But, I mean, doesn't common sense tell you that ghost guns are guns? So they grapple with whether the Biden administration exceeded its authority when it set regulation for kits that can be assembled into untraceable firearms. A majority of justice seems somewhat skeptical the rule was an overreach. So it's whether the ATF overstepped in expanding the definition of firearms to include ghost guns. They're guns with serial numbers that you can be bought online and put together in 10 minutes?
Yeah, they don't take
long.
Right.
But let's be clear, Steph, we will continue to lose every battle at the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will continue revoking our rights until we address the rot at the top, until we actually take on the corruption at the Supreme Court. And we have vehicles to do it. Once the House is again in Democrat control, they can and they must open impeachment investigations and inquiries into the apparent crimes of people like Justice Thomas and Justice Alito.
Yeah.
We can't shy away from doing the hard work of investigating the ruling class criminals, and the Department of Justice, as they have been requested to do by Senators Whitehouse and Wyden, need to open criminal probes of the Thomases and the Alitos. We need to take on these difficult challenges, even if we don't get the result we want at the end of the day. We have to take up these fights.
Yeah, the DOJ lawyer said these guns are untraceable guns, obviously, are attractive to people who can't lawfully purchase them, who plan to use them in a crime. Mm-hmm. That's just common sense. And I'm glad you brought up Alito. I've always thought he's the most despicable of a despicable group of, but I don't even have to go to law school. This one, Alito said, here's a blank pad and here's a pen. Is this a grocery list? Alito then said, if he had eggs, chopped up ham, peppers, and onions, is that a Western omelet? So the lawyer said, well, the key difference here is that these weapon parts kits are designed and intended to be used as instruments of combat. They have no other conceivable use. I mean, his arguments are just dumb, aren't they, Professor? You teach law school.
Steph, Alito is not an honest broker of the law. Think about what he did to get confirmed to the Supreme Court. He said under oath to the U.S. Senate and by extension to the American people, Roe v. Wade is settled precedent, stare decisis. It's been decided. It's been affirmed several times over, and I respect precedent. Yeah. What did he communicate to the senators and to us? Roe v. Wade has nothing to worry about from me. Then what did he write the minute he had the opportunity to walk Roe v. Wade deep into the woods and shoot it dead? What did he say? He said Roe v. Wade was egregiously wrong from the minute it was decided. He put the lie to his own confirmation testimony. Yeah. And what do we do about it, Steph? We do nothing.
Yeah.
That's our failing. We need to take on these fights in the Harris administration.